Facts Only Test Prep.
Welcome to Facts Only Test Prep. We're called Facts Only because we give you everything you need and nothing you don't when it comes to the SAT. So please enjoy the next video.
Function graphs.
Today's video is going to help you get a very large portion of the points that you'll need in the math section. Functions are a major part of the SAT math section, and the math that you do is not difficult, but you have to know how to recognize the notation. That's where students get confused. Today's video is only about graphs. We're going to do a separate video, or we have a separate video on the algebraic portion of functions. Go to factsonlytestprep.com and find that if you like. But for today, you'll need Test 2, Section 4, number 26, Test 1, Section 4, number 17, Test 4, Section 3, number 13, and Test 4, Section 4, number 30. Pause the video. Again, go to factsonlytestprep.com, click on the links and grab those tests if you need them. And now let's look at Test 2, Section 4, number 26. This question refers to the graph above, and look at how scary it is. There's a little hint. The scarier the graph, the easier the math actually ends up being. And they're asking, for which of the following values do we get the number 1? Or they're saying, which of the following are equal to 1? We have the choices f of negative 4, f of 3 over 2, and f of 3. Now, f of negative 4 means the y value when x equals negative 4. F of 3 over 2 means the y value when x equals 3 over 2. And f of 3 means the y value when x equals 3. So all that we need to do here is look at the y values at each of these 3 points. When x is negative 4, we go from 0 all the way over here, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. The y value is right here, and that y value is 1. So f of negative 4 is 1. That means that Roman numeral 1 is correct. Let's try the other 2 Roman numerals. F of 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is like 1.5, so we're going to go between 1 and 2. That's right here, and we'll go up to where the graph is. And that is also a y value of 1. Not that, right there. That's a y value of 1. So Roman numeral 2 is also a correct answer. What about Roman numeral 3, where x equals 3, y again equals 1. So all 3 of these values, all 3 of these x values give us a y value of 1. So your correct answer is D. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 are all correct. Let me give you an example of something that would not be correct. If they said f of negative 2, we would go 2 to the left, and then we would go up until we reach the graph. And at that value, our y value is 2, which is not 1, which is why negative 2 would not be an answer if it were a choice. It's not all 3 of the choices that they give us do in fact satisfy the question. Let's move forward. This is Test 1, Section 4, number 17. They're asking us for a y value, but they're not giving us a specific number. They're saying, for what value of x is the value of x, f of x at its minimum? F of x is just a y value. That's something to keep in mind. F of x just means y. So what they're really asking for is the lowest y value. I mean, the highest y value is up here. The lowest y value is down here. Now we just need to count from the origin down how far that goes. So this is 0, 0. We go 1, 2 down. Negative 2 is the y value. Notice that they're asking for what value of x do we achieve this negative 2 in this minimum y value. So now we need to move left, and that's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So negative 3 is the x value that gives us our minimum y value. B is our answer. Not so bad, right? This is just x's and y's. The notation is the trick. Let's look at another one of these. This is test 4, section 3, number 13. And again, scary graph over here, scary notation in the questions. But we're just going to do basic algebra to solve for k in this case. They're asking us where f and g intersect. That means that the value of one graph is equal to the value of another graph. We can set 8x squared minus 2 equal to negative 8x squared plus 2, and now we can start solving. So again, this is simple algebra. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Those 2's cancel. Now I've got 8x squared equals negative 8x squared plus, let's subtract, let's get rid of that, plus 4. I'm going to add 8x squared to both sides. And now I've got 16x squared equals 4. Divide by 16. Divide by 16. And I'm just going to move over here to the right a little bit. X squared equals 4 over 16, which is the same as 1 over 4. And then I've got to take the square root of each. Your calculator would do this if this were the calculator section, but since you are not allowed a calculator in section 3, let's do this as taking the square root of 1, which is 1, and putting it over the square root of 4, which is 2. The square root of a fraction is the square root of the numerator over the square root of the denominator. Our answer is 1 over 2, and that means that B is the answer in this case, because K is our X value. Let's do one more. This is test 4, section 4, number 30. Again, you've got this big scary graph. You've got a scary looking polynomial. Here's what I want you to focus on. They're asking you for the value of K. They're saying that f of x equals K. K is a Y value. Whatever is inside of the parentheses is always, always, always an X. Whatever is outside of the parentheses is always, always, always a Y. So they're saying for which Y value, in this case they're renaming it K, be on the lookout for that too. For which of these values will there be 3 X's? And all we need to do is we go through these possibilities, 2, 0, -2, and -3, is see for which one of these do we run into the graph 3 times. Here's an example. If we try the value K equals 2, we go up to 2, that's our Y, and then we're going to move right and left until we run into the graph. There's only one point at which the number 2 runs into the graph and has a corresponding Y value. There's only one solution for K equals 2. A is out. Let's try K equals 0. So that would start us here, and we have nowhere to move to the left, we move to the right. We run into the graph once. So again, 1 is not 3, B is out. Down to -2. Nothing to the left, we move to the right, we only hit the graph once. So, or with only one intersecting point, -2 is out. You can probably see where this is headed. -3, if we move to the left, we hit the graph once at about -1. We move to the right, and we hit the graph once just after 0, and we move even further to the right, and we hit the graph one more time just before 2. There are 3 different points at which f of x equals -3, so D is your answer. I know that's a lot of different looks at functions. Let's keep this in mind. Whatever is inside of the parentheses is always an x. Whatever is outside of the parentheses is always a y. They can't ask you for an x without giving you a y. They can't ask you for a y without giving you an x. Practice these 4 questions. They have cousins that are very similar in format when you take the actual test. Good luck, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure that you like us and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll get information on the new videos as soon as they're available. It helps us a lot. Also, visit us at factsonlytestprep.com. That's where you'll find links to the tests that I use in my lessons, along with some other resources that we prepared for you. Thanks and good luck.